Hello, Roberta. This is Mickey T's, Tommy Rock and Roller. My name's Tommy. Anyway, we're gonna tell my stupid story about cigarettes. All right, little background here. 56. 2 years ago, I was in the hospital with pneumonia. They thought maybe COPD, a history of asthma when I was a kid. I was in bad shape. I wound up in the hospital for 5 days. So that was 2 years ago, April, and I quit smoking for the first time in 20 years. At which time I probably quit for 6 months and then smoked, and going back became a full time smoker when I was in the Marines at 18, and smoked a pack a day on weekends when I was in high school, probably, or maybe a little less. So when I went to the hospital, we were going to quit. I'm going to quit. And I didn't quit. And then last year, had a pretty bad year personally, some family deaths and stuff. And kind of hit out in booze and cigarettes for more than I usually do, which is why you started to hear more and more from me on that kind of thing. But all right, so with that as the background, swore to myself, January 1st, this is it, gonna quit. And January 1st, I didn't smoke. January 2nd, I didn't smoke. Collapsed like a cheap fucking suit. January 3rd. But as opposed to other times that I've tried to quit, I kind of committed to keep trying. So what would happen through January and into early February was I'd quit for a day or two, or sometimes as many as 3 or 4, and then fall off the wagon. And then when I'd fall off the wagon, total alky logic, I'm like, well, may as well get good and fucking drunk, smoke a pack of cigarettes or two over the course of a couple of days, and then try again on Tuesday or whatever it's going to be, right? So that's kind of how the year was going into February. Well, guess what? I got walking pneumonia at the end of January, early February. So they were asking me if I smoked, and I said, today I haven't smoked. Like as if I hadn't smoked for 2 days, I could say, well, I don't smoke. But they knew anyway, and I told them what the story was, and we did the treatment for it, and I smoked very minimally while I was doing that. We started breaking up within around 3 or 4 days. And then I just continued on the same pattern of, not smoking for 2 days, then smoking for 3 days, then not smoking for 2 days, then breaking out in a bottle of scotch, and smoking heavily. And that's the way it was going. And so when I went to the return visit for what I was sick for, I kind of told them what was going on. And they said, have you ever tried Chantix? Now, it's been suggested to me by all sorts of people for a long time. And I was like, you know what? Why not? I'm really trying. And so I did. I took the Chantix, and I got to tell you something, it helped, because it's getting me over that 3-day hump a bunch of times. Now, with Chantix, you're supposed to be allowed to smoke until the second month. It's you got to load it up like a steroid or some shit, right? And so which brings me to now. Pretty long setup, right? 4 fucking minutes. I'm looking at the ticker time over there. Anyway, so yeah, I drunk, like I said, a couple of Fridays ago, and then bang, it wasn't quite 2 months yet, and I stopped for that Saturday because I was hungover as all get out and sick, and I'd flushed the cigarettes down the toilet, and so on and so forth. And I stopped, and Saturday wasn't so bad, and Sunday wasn't so bad, and Monday wasn't so bad, and Tuesday it was like sitting on my shoulder, like talking to me all day. And I was like doing these mental games of, you don't smoke. You know, I would tell myself, you don't smoke. That's what I had been doing. And that's kind of what I'm still doing. But, you know, I wake up every morning, I say, I don't smoke. I say a prayer, even though I'm not very religious. And then when it comes up, I say I don't smoke. And that day, I was saying I don't smoke, but, you know, Uncle Tobacco was telling me, quit lying, you son of a bitch. You smoke and you want to smoke. And that fucker was staying with me first time in 3 or 4 days, all day. So I got busy. Started doing some cleanup around here, working on some music, all sorts of stuff. I had the vacuum out, I had the mop out, I'm bleaching the bathroom floors, I'm doing this, that, the other thing. It's getting to be about 7 o'clock at night. I had the vacuum out in the living room. I took it into the bedroom. I said, you know, I got a vacuum under that bed. It's dusty under there. And I go down. I'm fighting this shit all day. It's the first time I've had to fight it all day in 3 days, you know? And I'm like, man, where did that come from? And I look under the bed to fucking aim the vacuum, and what is sitting there? My ashtray from Friday night. It's got a little cigarette about this fucking big in it, right? Well, she never stood a chance. And I could only get 2 hits out of it, and I almost burned my fingers because I probably the second hit was probably half fucking filter. Really, I mean that's. Yay. I threw it down the toilet, then was mad at myself. And of course, the other side of me was telling me, well, you fucked up, and it's only 9 o'clock. You can go out and get yourself a 12-pack, smoke a pack of Burrows, and you just get back, or smoke some cigarettes until you go to sleep tonight, and that'll be that. But I didn't. And since then, I guess now is day 5. So the grand total is, well, today's the 9th day. I kept saying the 10th, isn't it? And today's actually the 9th, not including the little Tuesday fucking miscue. But I gotta tell you something. It's like, that happened to me with Coke at rehab once. Like 3 months later, I found like a fucking package that apparently, because I never really hid shit on myself, but sometimes my neighbor would come over and basically steal from me. And sometimes he would hide shit around the apartment, and I'd be so fucked I wouldn't remember what was left. And I mean, I'm talking about 15 years ago, right? And I found a package of Coke, and man, I had a pipe made from an aspirin jar and cigarette ash with a straw fucking taped into it. Had it made in about 5 minutes. Tin foil, cigarette ash to the lighter. And I was going to meetings and all this kind of stuff. So this cigarette thing kind of reminded me of that. And it was a good reminder, actually, in a way, because you know what? It's like right there. For me, it's right there. I mean, I think the smokes are like as tough for me as Coke or booze has ever been. And I'm probably about a year ago from the last time I did a blast of blow, which was to be social. I don't know if I did a line or two 5 times in the last 10 years, it'd be a lot. So I consider that demon for the most part out of my life. I mean, I don't think I could ever get into that the way I was. I don't think I'm healthy enough for it. I think I'd probably fucking die, actually, if I got into it, like my last run, which was like around 2007, 2008. But, yeah, it's all of this stuff. It's a fucking killer, man. How are you doing? All right, I'm going to see. You know what? I'm not even going to look at this video. It's like the first time I've ever talked into a camera in about 10 or 11 years. I used to do this. I used to vlog. I used to vlog on LiveLeak. That's why I'm somewhat comfortable talking into this thing. But I'm not going to look at it because I'm sure I'll say, oh, my God, you look horrible because I got this light blaring at me. And is showing all my gray, and you know, and I'm tired, and it's Sunday and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, I'm doing good. The scratchy throat. Funny thing about that, real quick, I'll tell you. This wasn't going on the first 4 or 5 days I quit, and apparently, if you're a smoker like I have been, when you quit, you actually get congestion and drip, and your body starts to, like, it's missing that fucking gross shit. And it's like compensating, you know, like you can catch a cold. You'd think the opposite was true, right? You'd think, oh, I haven't been smoking for 10 days. I'm going to go fucking run a marathon. And actually you know, you feel like you have a fucking chest cold and runny nose and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, listen, man, I want to thank you for your videos, because you've kind of kept my foot, which I'm pointing to right now, and you can't see. You kind of kept my foot in the door, sort of, because I mean, I see my counselor every week. I saw him Thursday. He's pretty impressed with the fucking cigarette thing. You know, the beer and the sangria. You know, I'm kind of funny with alcohol that way. Like a social event, I can drink a glass of wine, or I can go to a concert and drink a beer. Where it gets problematic for me is if I'm drinking with people, or if I'm drinking alone here at my apartment. That's when I get drunk. And as far as the drinking with people goes, what's really scary about that is people like to fucking drink with me. You know, like, I'm not a scary guy when I drink. I'm not like this guy who's gonna, what are you looking at? You know, even though I've hung out with a lot of people like that in my life, right? I was never that guy. I'm kind of like a fun drunk. So, you know, that's going to be the real test for me. As well, assuming I knock the cigarettes down. The cigarettes are most important. It almost killed me 2 years ago. Really. And I didn't stop smoking. And then when I did stop smoking, when I found a fucking filter in an ashtray, I fucking lit it up like I had no control over my bodily functions, all right? That was a good reminder. But as far as if I can get rid of these, you know, the booze, I'm going to have to attack from a different direction, because I think at that point it's going to be more about when the band's gigging. Me and the singer like to fucking get drunk and tell war stories and all that kind of stuff with each other. That's it. And this is me. And, you know, maybe if I start making videos, I won't have this stupid light in my face. And, you know, otherwise it was going to be in the dark. I didn't feel like sitting in front of my Mac in the other room. I was like kind of folding up. It's close to midnight here. Anyway, that's a pretty long video, isn't it? 13 fucking minutes. All right, Tommy, shut the fuck up. Anyway, thank you for your videos. You're very real. You're a very sweet person, I think. Also, think you're probably pretty wild, and that's the right combination. It's the type of people I'm drawn to. But I really appreciate it, and I hope you had a good St. Paddy's Day, and I hope you're doing well and all that kind of stuff. Peace. Bye.